Hey guys, Chicago injury lawyer Scott DeSalvo here, and today, believe it or not, I am shooting you another video. Shocker, right? It's what I do. So, today's topic is the company is messing with me. What should I do? What can I do to get the company to stop messing with me? So, the reason I'm shooting this video is I got a guy who commented on one of my other videos who, you know, if you've watched my other videos and you've read the comment section that I put in there on a lot of the videos, I tell people, be careful putting too much personal information or too much information about your particular case in the comment section, because that's a public comment section on my YouTube channel. Like, anyone can see those comments and anyone can read what you write and they can read what I respond to you, right? So that's why I always tell people, whether it's with me or somebody else, you're probably better off getting a free consultation and speaking privately, protected by attorney-client privilege. So be careful what you put on there. General questions are okay, right? So this gentleman put comments in there, and I responded to him, and then he wanted more specific information, so I gave him a little bit more specific information, and then he wanted even more specific information. And finally, I just told him, I'm like, look, a YouTube video giving general information to injured people, or a comment section, is not the place for you to come to look to definitively solve your problems on your own, right? So it's like the difference between, I don't know, reading a book on a subject or knowing exactly what to do in a particular situation, right? So, for example, it's like the difference between reading a book on the basics of basketball versus knowing what to do in game 8 of a finals, when your star player is injured and the other team has a very aggressive power forward and a very aggressive center. Well, the book is not going to be able to answer a specific question like that. That's why I tell people, if your case is in crisis, call a lawyer, whether it's me or someone else, or if you already have a lawyer, you should call your lawyer, talk to your lawyer, about what's going on. But, obviously, that's why I give a free consultation, which you can always get at 312 500 4500. So that's why I'm making the video today. What do you do? I want to give you some general advice on what to do if you feel like the company is messing you around, jerking you around. What can you do? And you already know what the first piece of advice is, because I just gave it to you. You need to talk to a lawyer. There are too many details. There are too many exceptions and exceptions to exceptions, and too many strategies, and frankly, just too many traps that an insurance company can set for an injured person for you to just do it yourself, or especially if you're represented by a lawyer. The last thing you want to do is start doing something without talking to your lawyer, right? Um, if you're not represented, it's like you're playing tic-tac-toe and they're a chess grandmaster, right? But if you have an attorney and you start trying to implement a strategy or a solution to the problem that your lawyer doesn't know about, you are acting at cross purposes with the attorney. So that's a real problem. You can't just watch one of my YouTube videos and think, okay, well, this is what he said in this situation, and therefore it applies to every situation, and I'm going to do it in my case and I'll win because I saw him say it in the video, right? It's if it were easy like that, it would be fine to do, but you could be really hurting yourself if you just do that, right? So talk to a lawyer. But usually when people say my company is screwing me around, they're messing me around, there's usually some common things that they're talking about, right? A lot of times what they're talking about is that at the office, if they're back at work, they got a different job. they're being given different duties, or in the office they don't joke around and talk to them as much, or they act suspicious around them. This is what I'll tell you: 99% of the time, all of that goes away after a couple weeks. Okay, a lot of office staff are sort of marinated in the idea that if you get hurt at work, it's a fake, right? It's a fake injury. It's not a real injury. You're just faking an injury to try and get money for nothing, right? So that's something for you to think about. If that's what you mean by they're messing you around or they're treating you bad, or you know, a lot of it is just keep your nose clean, keep your head down, do your job. Most of the time, vast majority of the time, that stuff goes away and everything returns to normal. Okay. Um, Now, it is actually against federal law if you file a workers' comp claim and somebody is discriminating against you. So if, they start giving you the crappy duty, or, they fire you and they say, look, we don't want guys who file comp claims here, you're fired. That's the kind of evidence. You need some strong evidence in a retaliatory discharge case. In other words, that's what lawyers call getting fired for filing a comp case. You need like a smoking gun like that to win a retaliatory discharge case. But, because there's the existence of being able to sue an employer if they fire you for filing workers' comp or otherwise discriminate against you, most companies know not to do it. They've been warned by their workers' comp insurance and by their general insurance company that insures the company for stuff like that, that they can't do that. It would be really bad idea for them to do that. So, um, what else? What else? Um, I've had a lot of comments in the comment section about people who get lent out, where they don't have any duty to accommodate their work restrictions. So you get hurt at work, you get a note. It's going to say one of three things. It's going to say go back to work full duty. It's going to say you can't work at all, or it's going to say light duty. Now, if it's light duty, your company can decide to let you, if they don't have any duty for you to do, they can let you stay home and rest. And then they have to pay you TTD, temporary total disability, which in Illinois is 2/3 of your salary, but they don't withhold taxes, right? Um, but some companies can actually lend you out to a third party company. And that's been held to be okay to do in the state of Illinois. Your state may vary, but based on the lawyers I've talked to, I think that that's something that they can do in most states. So, for example, if a charity or a church needs an envelope stuffer and you have sitting duty only, and your trucking company or the factory doesn't have any work for you, rather than letting you stay home and rest, they'll lend you out for 8 hours a day to the envelope stuffing company. Um, but the thing you have to understand is, under no circumstances can they pay you less than what you would be entitled to under your TTD. In other words, whether they have you working 2 hours a day, 2 days a week, or full time at the envelope stuffing company, you're entitled to 2/3 of your pay, um, if you're out on TTD, either working at the company, staying at home, or being lent out. What else? Oh, I've had a couple of people comment about their job duties getting changed. Like, oh, I was a driver, now they want to put me in the factory, or I was in the factory, now they want to put me out on the road as a helper with the driver, this sort of thing. Companies do have leeway in doing that in a workers' comp situation, at least in the state of Illinois. Your state may be different, but they do have leeway to do that. The key thing is, if you have a work restriction, um, in other words, no standing, no lifting over 20 pounds, one handed work, these are some common type of restricted restrictions on somebody's work duty in the context of a workers' comp case, the employer has to honor it, right? So they can't say come to work and lift those 50-pound boxes all day when your restrictions say stay off your feet, or your restrictions say no lifting more than 10 pounds, right? So if they're not honoring your restriction, you should call your lawyer and let them know that. And then you got to make an appointment with your doctor and go to your doctor and say, look, your restriction is 20 pounds. I went to work. They asked me to stand all day and to lift 50-pound boxes all day. I told them that's not within my restriction. It's going to be a problem. They threatened me. I tried to do it. Now I feel even worse. And usually, if you've got a good doctor, what they'll do is they'll write you a modified work note, you know. And if you notify your attorney will call the adjuster and say, listen, you're not honoring the restriction. If you're not going to honor the restriction, we're not sending him to work. Do you want this guy to get hurt worse? So that's, there are ways to handle all that stuff, but I'm always like, people are going to be so skeptical when you give them advice that the advice is that they should hire a lawyer, right? And when that's the advice, I'm always like, it's self-serving. But honestly, if you feel like the company is screwing you around and messing with you, the smartest thing you can do is have a lawyer who calls you back, who answers your questions. Because your lawyer is going to be able to tell you right away, this is common, this is not common, this is acceptable, this is not acceptable. And there are usually things like penalties in workers' comp cases, and if a company acts up too much, we might be able to get penalties, and penalties go in your pocket. So if we don't police these workers' comp insurance companies and these employers with threats of things like sanctions and things like penalties, they're going to keep acting worse and worse and worse until somebody stops them. So nobody's going to be able to stop them but a lawyer who's on your case, who knows what to do, right? So anyway, I mean, look, there's it's inherently adversarial. Workers' comp is not really intended to be super adversarial, but as soon as insurance companies get involved, they worship the almighty dollar. That's all they care about. They don't care about you, they don't care about your injury. They'll lie to you and say they care about you and care about your injury, but really what they want to do is reduce the medical care as much as possible, get you back to work whether you're ready to go or not, close out the claim for zero if they can get away with it. So, not ideal, not an ideal situation, but that's literally the way the world works. I mean, if companies did what they were supposed to do, nobody would need a lawyer. And based on, the people who call me and the comments and the emails and stuff I get from my videos, it sure sounds to me like a lot of people need help. So, um, if you or a loved one has been hurt and you guys need help or advice, or you just have questions, way better idea to call than it is to leave it in a comment section. You can always reach me at 312 500 4500. It's 312 500 4500. You can call anytime, night or day. Happy to talk to you. And obviously, if you have a case, I'd love to handle it for you. Or if you know somebody who needs a good, honest lawyer who calls you back, please have them call, or you can call on their behalf, 312 500 4500. If you're not ready to talk to a lawyer, I've got some really cool tools on my website. One is the case cash calculator, tells you what your case might be worth, or the good case calculator tells you in 10 or 15 seconds flat whether you have a good, strong case or whether you might have a case with some challenges. Really, both of these are completely free, no obligation. You get your answer in 10 or 15 seconds. It's literally just a few multiple choice questions. You just click the answers to the various questions, and right away you get an answer. So I'm going to leave the link in the description there for you to do that. And you can check them out or share them with somebody who you think would benefit from them. And what else? What else? Oh, if you enjoy my videos, please subscribe and click the like button. If you subscribe, hit the bell so you get notified. And if you enjoy my videos and you enjoy my advice and you wouldn't mind doing me a favor, I'll leave a link in the description where you can leave me a 5-star review on Google. It would really help me out. All you do is go to the web address in the description on your phone, your tablet, or your PC and click 5 stars, say a kind word, hit submit. 5 seconds of work for you, but invaluable to me, and really a great favor that I would really appreciate. Very competitive market in Chicago for personal injury. So people really rely on those Google reviews. And luckily for me, I've got a lot of really happy clients who leave me nice reviews. So I hope you and your family are well. As always, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And if there's anything I can do for you, give me a holler, 312 500 4500. Other than that, I hope you and your family are well. I'm shooting this on a Monday, and traffic's heavier than usual. Don't know why, but them's the breaks, folks. That's why I figured I'd shoot you a video. What the heck? Make use of the time, right? And I was reading these comments in the YouTube section last night, so I figured I'd address them. If I'm a little low energy today, it's because I didn't sleep. I didn't get very much sleep last night. I just couldn't sleep um, for whatever reason. But luckily, I've got some coffee, and that'll wake me up. Anyway, thanks again for watching. Take care. Have a great day. Bye bye.